Welcome to the ALL Accor Insights podcast. I am Reggie and I have Andre with me coming in from Bangkok, Thailand. Mate, welcome to the podcast, episode 1.
Hi, Reggie. How are you?
I am great, mate. I'm here in Manila. I'm staying at the Ibis Styles Manila, Araneta City. It is a great, brand new property and the first one here in the Philippines. The first Ibis property.
Wow, that's
So
amazing.
it's been incredible. They had the most incredible rooftop pool, which is just amazing, like unheard of. Most Ibises don't even have a swimming pool, let alone a rooftop infinity pool. So I'm super, super excited for that. Andre's dropped out already. What a great way to start the podcast. We'll wait for him to pop back in. But here he is. He's back. He dropped out for a second there. We're just some teething issues as we start the very first ALL Accor Insights podcast. So within this podcast, you can ask any questions in regards to Accor. We're happy to answer them live on the stream. Of course, it's going to be live. We're going to be doing it on a regular basis, and we'll try and give some notice around that. But essentially, yeah, we're going to talk about everything Accor. We're going to talk about today. We're going to talk about our favorite properties, which I'm excited about.
Yes.
Yeah, it's going to be great. And we're also going to have a special guest joining us very soon, Mr. David Coyle from the Mercure in Danang, which is one of my favorite properties. So I'm excited.
Amazing.
Tell everybody out there a bit about what you're doing, mate, and why you're involved on the podcast as my co-host.
Yeah, your famous co-host. So I'm Andre. So I'm the creator of Travologist, which is a company that specializes in helping people how to maximize the loyalty programs, either Accor, Marriott, or Hilton. So I'm a big fan of those three, and especially Accor is my favorite. I have to mention that as well. So, and I met Reggie a while back, and then we decided we shared a lot in common, and then our expertise just melted together, I guess. And then we just decided to create this this podcast to inform people about all the advantages of the Accor program and the benefits that a lot of people are. I don't know what you think, Reggie, but maybe they are aware, but they're not 100% sure about them, how they can
Correct.
benefit from the program and how the program can benefit them in a nutshell. So yeah, to go ahead with our podcast and help people around the world, especially. Obviously, we're both based in Asia at the moment, but yeah, we have expertise from all around the world. Myself, obviously, I grew up in North America, which of course is less popular, I would say. Do you agree with that, Reggie?
Correct. Yeah, definitely in Asia Pacific, especially Australia, and obviously Thailand's a massive market for Accor as well. Indonesia, like these are quite invested countries, and I'd nearly say any country that has the Accor Plus. Accor Plus, obviously they took this to a whole new level where they released the Accor Plus program with incredible benefits for members. But I feel like Europe and where Accor comes from in France, it's
yes, exactly. From April. France. Yeah.
Which is crazy to hear, and to but I definitely see a massive. I even see a massive gap between the properties here in in between Asia compared to Europe. And I have to say, and you probably agree. This is, I guess, the benefit of having Andre on with me as well. Is my experience isn't very thorough in Europe. I've only been to a few properties in Europe, so I can't really talk too much about it. But you've had a lot of experience in that area. You're from Canada as well, the home of the Fairmonts.
Yeah, the home of the Fairmonts. Actually, I lived where the headquarters of Fairmont was in New Brunswick, in Canada. So yeah, and I don't know if you know this story, Reggie, about the whole Fairmont. How would I say provenance? Or also prominence in especially in Canada. Fairmont, I would probably admit it's like a high-end brand for most people.
Yep.
Yeah.
It definitely.
And in Canada especially, they try to use the concept of castles to intrigue people to visit their property, I would say. There's a fair amount of, I don't know the exact amount in Canada. There's about at least 15 properties that are linked to the the CN Pacific, which used to be the old railway in
Oh wow.
Canada. So there's a lot of wherever the people who build the railway were able to stop, they build some sort of like infrastructures to accommodate them. But now it's mainly a Fairmont property in major cities all across the country. So yeah,
That's
I don't know
awesome.
if you had any experiences of those properties in Canada, but
Not yet. Not
no,
yet, but I
not
had
yet.
a
Okay.
I had a Canadian member reach out to me, trying
Mhm.
to, he was kind of saying, I only really stay Fairmont, so I want to kind of make advantage of, trying to become a platinum member, and what the benefits are, and really being in Canada, being Fairmont, really you need to be diamond. You want access to that Fairmont Gold
Yes,
Lounge.
yes, yes. Yeah.
So we kind of come up with a bit of a plan on how to get into diamond. And seeing if that's going to work for him. So I guess that's essentially why we're here. We want to make it easier for members to essentially
Mhm.
receive those benefits that are out there, because there's so many, and I love Accor because I find it affordability. It's the most affordable hotel chain out of the whole lot, and the
Mhm.
benefits you're getting are great for the money you're paying. Like, even me staying here at an Ibis Styles property, getting upgraded to a nice family room. It's 48 square meters, and I'm in an Ibis. So I
Mm.
cannot complain about that at all. It's great.
Excellent. So
Yeah.
now, um, in Asia, what's your impression of the Fairmont brand in Asia in
Well,
general?
I haven't had too much experience with it. I've stayed in the Fairmont here in Manila and Makati. Not
Mhm.
a bad property, and I was actually was lucky to use. We could talk about this in future podcasts on how people can benefit from different things. But I was able to use one of my suite nights, which is a thing when you become
Yeah,
platinum,
yeah,
you get
yeah,
a suite night. And
yeah,
before
yeah.
Diamonds got access to the Fairmont Gold Lounge, I used to use the suite night specifically at this property because you could essentially use your suite night, pay for the base category room, and get essentially
Mhm.
a Fairmont Gold room. So then
Wow.
I'd had access to the Gold Lounge, which is great, and it's a really nice lounge, good offering, great if you love alcohol. I mean, I don't drink alcohol, but if you love it, there's a lot of alcohol options in this property. The other one I've had experience with was the Fairmont in Jakarta as well. Nice
Yes,
big
yes.
room,
I've been
quite
to that one as
nice.
well myself. Yeah.
Yeah, but so I can't compare. I mean, I have stayed at one Fairmont elsewhere in the world, which is just top next level, which was the Fairmont Montrex, the Palace Montrex in Switzerland.
Yeah,
Um,
oh, yeah, that one. Motor. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I heard of that one
that
as well.
is,
Yeah.
it's where actually Queen recorded their final album. And I just
Wow.
go, wow, this is crazy. So I stayed at that property, and yes, I'm paying $600-700 a night. The crazy part is that's an awesome story because I booked that 15 minutes before I arrived.
Mhm.
And I didn't think much of it. And I was like, there was such a big gap. I booked the cheapest category room, around 650 Aussie dollars, which is roughly the same in Canada.
Yeah.
And this property was just like, I booked it, went there, and then I kind of said, hey, I'm a Dime member. Here, I'm checking in. Oh yeah, we've upgraded you to the Montrex suite or something. And I've gone online afterwards. This room's like $4,500 a night.
Hmm? That's crazy.
So I was like, I was arming and ahhing. Do I use my suite night? I would have had to pay like another $400-500 a night, use my suite night, and I would have got upgraded to a nice suite. But I actually got a better upgrade not using my suite night. And I had a really cool experience there. But yes, I'm paying, 600 plus Australian dollars a night. It's not a cheap stay at all.
No, no.
Yeah. We got John who's put a message on, and we're going to have special guest David Coyle from the Grumpy Kill very soon. And John said, "Hi, legends, long time listener, first time caller. Great to see you, mate. Use both a Stay Plus. Now, people that don't know what a Stay Plus is, that is your free night you get within a Core Plus. You get one of those every single year, or some people have two, depending on the country of their program, and a
True.
Sweet Night upgrade. So we use this Sweet Night Plus, this Stay Plus, 2 rooms, one night." Spent $1,000 for the suite and $400 for the suite night, but didn't get receipts. What do you mean by that, mate? I don't understand that one. Spent $1,000 for the
What's going
suite
on?
and $400 for the suite night, but didn't receipts. Anyway, just let us know, John. Give us a bit more info on that. Maybe you've stuffed up the end of that. But using both a Stay Plus, I understand. So you booked 2 rooms, one with your suite night, one used your Stay Plus, and you were able to get. And where was that? Oh, receive points. Oh, you didn't receive any points. So he's
Oh
saying
yeah,
that
yeah. That's what you meant. Yeah.
that makes sense. Now we understand
Yeah,
what you're
yeah.
talking about. Thanks, mate, for letting us know. Character limit. All right, they couldn't fit it in the words. That's funny. Thanks, mate, for the message. That's was that at the Fairmont in Makati or Jakarta? Where was that, mate? And also, Duran's joining us. Welcome back. I believe you're from Perth, from my memory, from my last live stream. Welcome back to the podcast. Welcome to the podcast. It's our first one. I did a live stream the other day, but now we are on the Sofitel. So he does at a Sofitel property that he used his Sweet Night as well as the Accor Plus. Very,
In
very
what
cool.
city was that? You think? Was that
I
in
should ask
Asia?
you, mate. Yeah, where was it, John? What property in Sofitel? Could be anywhere.
Where have you used? Have you used yours yet for this year?
I honestly, mate, I never use my Sweet Nights. I'm a Diamond member. They look after me so well.
Okay.
Sofitel Sydney. So it's going to be Sofitel Sydney Darling Harbour, or it's going to be Sofitel Sydney Wentworth. One of those two. That's great, mate. But it's weird you didn't receive any points. You can contact the hotel and get the points credited depending on how long it is as well. But yeah, it's not good. But try. I mean, I don't know. It's probably a long time ago. But yeah, definitely, guys, if you don't get your points, contact Accor and try and get them. Now, we're going to have David joining us. Now, David is from the Grand Mercure Danang. Now, have you ever been to Danang, Andre?
Yes, Reggie. I've spent 3 months in Vietnam recently, and especially in Danang. I spent over 45 nights in Danang, and I did go to the Grand Mercure in Danang. I've visited most of the Accor portfolio in that area of Vietnam. Amazing, the quality you get for the price you pay. That's something. I don't know if we shared that thought before, but it is worth it, I would say.
Definitely, and that's something we're going to talk about on the podcast, of course. Big shout out to Tracy from Air in Queensland and Australia. And John's also going to contact Accor, which is great. Yeah, definitely contact them, mate. There's a form on the website for that.
Yeah, that's quite easy, I
do.
think. I've done it a few times myself. Yeah.
But talking about Danang, we have the Queen, the King, the President. I don't know. He's a bit of everything. Mr. David Coyle. Welcome, sir. Welcome
one and only.
Podcast. The one and
Good
only.
afternoon. Good afternoon. Happy to see you.
It is great to see you, mate. There we go. We got you on the big screen now in the middle. Andre and I are on the side because you are the star of the show.
I know. I should be center screen at all times. Should be in my contract.
You are.
I'm in the lobby of the Grand Mercure.
Lovely.
Yes.
Would you have some staff you could introduce us to? Show you the faces. I mean, you are the face of the Grand Mercure.
Oh, I am. And as you know, with my last video, I appear everywhere. I think you remember this man here, Mr. Cam, our
Mr.
duty
Cam,
manager.
Welcome to the ALL Accor Insights podcast, mate. How are you?
We're on a live podcast.
You are
good.
live.
He's well. And you remember this man?
Oh, Mr. Ben, our front office manager at the Grand Mercure Danang. Hello, sir. You are live around the world right now.
Yes, hello, sir. Have a nice day.
Remember we surprised him with the room inspection where I was in bed when he entered the room.
Yes, if anyone has missed that video, watch the Grand Mercure Danang video on my YouTube. It is very funny where David jumps out of bed at Mr. Ben, and it is a great experience.
Great. Well, it was for me. It was very funny.
Shout out from Tracy, Dave, sending love. Got a shout out there.
Where? Chef?
So yeah, we got
Chef
as well.
In a meeting.
We got everybody.
You remember my very gorgeous receptionist?
Hello. Welcome to the podcast.
Cameron. Do you remember Cameron? Miss Trum is our star on reception and also a fabulous singer. Got a beautiful voice.
Oh, lovely. Maybe we could get a solo later.
Maybe if you're lucky. But what are you talking about today, Mr. Cameron?
Tell us about your property, mate. Now, we were just talking about Danang and the value for money of the properties there. But
Yeah.
why should people come and visit the Grand Mercure? We're talking about our favourite properties, and obviously, we
Okay.
all know Grand Mercure Danang is one of my favourites,
Yes.
if not my favourite.
I think the difference with Grand Mercure Danang, Cameron, is the vibe, the feeling, the heart and soul of the hotel. The staff are incredibly passionate and very committed to this hotel. We work as a team. We're all equal, including myself with the team. And I think we just give a really warm welcome to every guest, regardless of where they come from or what room category they're in. Doesn't matter. Everyone's VIP. I think we do very well because of, I mean, the hotel's the oldest one in Accor for Danang. We're 13 years old, but we still number one, 97.23% in our RPS score, which is guest service and customer service. So we're doing very well. We pride ourselves on that.
Mm.
And we work with a very relaxed but professional culture. We are led by myself. I'm always very open and very accessible, very happy. And the vibe comes from the top, I think. And the team are amazing. We've got team staff here for 14 years since pre-opening. We've got maybe 52 staff who've been here for more than 10 years out of 270 staff. So we've got a high ratio, very low turnover. And they're all very Accor artist trained.
That's amazing.
That's our success.
So cool.
Yeah,
that's
cool.
Great.
We
That's
boast
really cool.
that, and I'm very proud of that. We had many diamond members and platinum members claiming the same as you, that this is their favorite hotel. As you know, Leon and all the others. So we're very happy with that.
Yeah, that's great. Really cool.
Yes.
Andre, you stayed at the property, Andre, or you just been to the property?
Unfortunately, I didn't stay, but I went for a quick tour, and I was I had food at the restaurant in the on the ground floor, if I remember correctly. Yes, yeah, that was very good food. And we had an amazing tour of the hotel. We went around the hotel. The reason I went to the hotel is I went for some vaccination around, and there's a big vaccination center, I think, around the hotel. So that's why I ended up going to visit the hotel. And as we all know, in Asia, the Accor Plus membership allows a lot of people to benefit from their F&B offerings. But then again, that's something, obviously, if you're traveling on your own, it's a bit different. But if you're traveling as a duo, that's the big features from the program, I think, in Asia. A lot of people, I assume, are using, but I don't know how famous it is outside Asia for people just to, use that. I would probably say, honestly, that one of the best perks of the Accor Plus membership, which other loyalty programs have something similar, but not to the level of the Accor program. So amazing property again. I quite like the location. It's not on the beach, but it's not around the where the Hilton and the new Marriott's going to be. So it's very, like you said. How long ago was how old is the hotel? 13 years, you mentioned, correct?
Yeah, 13 years old. When it was first built, it was basically on the outskirts of the CBD. But in the last 3 to 4 years, that's changed as the CBD's grown and expanded. It's actually come and engulfed the hotel. We're directly opposite the main Bakdang walking street with all the bars, restaurants, cafes, lifestyle precinct. We've got Sunworld behind us. We've got the Nang night markets just down the road. So really our location is superb. We're at the heart of the Han River. We're on an island in the middle of the river, between the CBD and the ocean. So I think our location is probably the best in town now, to be honest.
Yeah, because if you think obviously I lived in hotels and I still live in hotels, the noise level, that's one of the criteria most people avoid. Obviously, if you're there for one night, it's not a major deal breaker if you want to choose the perfect hotel. But yeah, that's a good point. I think traffic wise and noise wise, it's not.
Superb.
It's quite good. I think that area. Yeah.
And I think you mentioned the Hilton and the Marriott location. They're CBD properties, and I think for corporate they're probably very good. But you go out around the Marriott and the Hilton after 5:30, 6 p.m. It's like any CBD in the world. You know, it's a lot of it's closed down until the next morning. So challenging. So for a leisure guest, you're definitely better at the Grand Mercure or along the beachfront at the Pullman or the Premier, our sister properties.
Yeah. So is it? It's linked to. Is it Sunworld? Are you guys linked to Sunworld?
We're directly in front of Sunworld. The wheel. We've got the River Symphony show behind us with fireworks every night in the high season and the summer season. Yeah, it's right behind us. They rezoned the area recently to be called Downtown Danang. So we are in the middle of Downtown Danang, the new lifestyle precinct.
So exciting.
Very exciting. And we've got, the best restaurants in town. We've got the legendary Chinese dim sum. We have a very famous buffet, which is operating every day. We're the only hotel in town with a buffet that's every night, seafood barbecue buffet. And of course, our Vietnamese culinary experience is also very popular, the Veranda Vietnamese. So we've got 3 options of dining, all of them very, very popular with locals as well as our guests. So very unique property. Very unique. And Cameron, you've dined in all those. Did I win the chicken contest, by the way? Has that been announced?
We still have 200 nights to go.
Oh, God. Can't you just claim it now? We've won.
We had another competing one today that really wanted to win here in Manila.
Ah, okay.
So
and better than the Grand Mercure Danang?
Well, exclusive. No, yours was good. Yours was very good.
I think the supporting chef was very good in that as well. I saw in the video behind Chef Pat.
The supporting GM chef.
Good. So you're in Philippines now.
In Philippines, in Manila, at the very first Ibis in the Philippines, the Ibis Stars Manila, Araneta City, the very first Ibis in the Philippines. I can't believe that the Ibis, there's not an Ibis brand until right now in the Philippines. It's crazy.
Wow, that's the one linked to the Novotel that Leon always talks about.
Yeah, the Novotel is very close by. There's a shopping mall directly linked here to the 4th floor. You come out of the lobby straight into the mall. For a budget-friendly price, and it's a great option.
Probably a good need in Manila because the hotels are not cheap there. Not Asia, Asia, our part of Asia for sure.
And that's the other thing, members, if you're a Core Plus members, you're going to get you always have red hot room rates there at the Grand Mercure.
Yes, always.
So you always have a really good room rate, and you have an amazing lounge as well.
Yes, on the 21st floor with 360-degree views around Danang and out to the ocean, the peninsula, downtown CBD, Bana Hills. We've got everything.
Got everything. You just got to go check it out.
And the best lattes in town.
Oh, there you go.
When are you coming back, Cameron? When are we welcoming you?
We're not planned on that yet. We'll be there again by the end of the year, of course.
Okay. There's a competition on with you and no, forget the rest. There's a competition on with you and some of the other members who have already received their embossed pillowcases.
Yes, I haven't got that yet. But I'll show you. I'll show you what I got. Show you what I got today from the Ibis team.
What is it? I can't see. Zoom on. What is it?
Happy birthday!
Is it your birthday?
Not till Friday, but the team have because I'm not going to be here. I leave tomorrow. The whole team has written, has done a card for me. They gave me a nice.
That's great.
Biggest piece of cake that I could ever see. And I got a couple of gifts. I got a little notepad and a water bottle. So yeah, not bad for for an Ibis property. They're looking after me as a diamond member. Look at that little bag.
Wow. That's great.
So,
High
so yeah,
style.
let's see.
So you always compete your birthday with Valentine's, huh? You must be inundated with cards and flowers and gifts, and God, it must be
Crazy,
busy day for
crazy,
you, huh?
crazy. Probably not as busy as your day, but my day is quite busy. Yes.
Well, my birthday's the day after you on the 15th.
Yes, it is.
Yes,
But that's good because you need 2 days to yourself, right? You need 2 days. You need one for
absolutely.
Valentine's.
Yes, and I have a policy: cannot combine gifts.
Cannot combine gifts. 2 gifts, 2 days.
Not combinable.
Lovely. I love
Not
that. Yeah.
combinable.
Yes, cannot be combined with any other package. So we look forward to welcoming you back and seeing you soon in Danang.
Definitely, for sure. And I'm
I
sure
will be in
Andre will join
Bangkok
you as well soon.
I'll be in Bangkok on the 5th of March. So if you're back in town, let me know. Yeah.
No problem at all. We'll do. Thanks for joining
Okay.
us.
My absolute pleasure. And to anyone watching, please come to Grand Mercure Danang. If you see this podcast, mention my name and we'll look after you
And
even
get
more
30%
VIP.
off. Oh, great. That's
Get
awesome.
30% off, yeah.
30% off rack rate, no problem. Well, you can tell anyone who sees this podcast and makes a booking at Grand Mercure, they can quote this and I'll give them a free upgrade to the executive suite
Oh, wow. That's
if they don't already get it as a benefit.
if they don't already get it as a benefit. Okay, there you go, guys. You heard that from the GM. Just quote
Yes.
this video.
Yes.
It's amazing.
Okay, thanks for your
Thank
time,
you, sir.
Cameron. Thanks for your support and thank you for your loyalty to Grand Mercure Danang. We really appreciate it. We value your friendship and thank you for keeping our profile up and your podcast and
Always
your
here to support
postings
one
and
of
blah,
my
blah, blah.
favorite
It's all good.
Accor properties. Thanks, mate.
Thank you so much. Talk to you
Amazing.
soon.
See you, David.
Ciao.
Ciao.
And he's out. There we go. That's
And
our
he's out.
first live cross. I think we did it right, mate.
Yeah, not bad at all.
So that's something we're going to be doing often. I'm going to try and get special guests to come and join us on the podcast, talk about their hotels, maybe some other influencers, and maybe even some other members that might be at other properties. We want to bring, get everyone involved. So, if you are out there and you are a member and you're staying in a property when we are, always come and say hello, but also come and join the podcast. Just send me a message. I'd love to get you guys on. We want to talk about where your favorite properties are, and if there's anywhere specific you want to showcase, we want to talk about it for sure. It's awesome.
Excellent. So what happened?
Yeah.
I have a question for you, Reggie.
Yes.
If I'm not an Accor member, where do I start?
Yeah. Well, I guess where you were going to start if you're not an Accor member, I guess you need to sign up to be an Accor member.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess the first place you're going to do that is on the website. So you're going to go to all.accor.com. You're going to sign up, and this is a free account. So you can go on the website, go to the Accor, all.accor.com, and that website, when you sign up on there, you're going to actually get 5% off the room rates around the world.
True.
So straight away,
Yeah.
you're getting discounts. And that's a free membership. There's absolutely no cost to that at all. So you can just sign up on the website if you're not a member already. There's obviously membership programs like we were just talking about with David at Accor Plus, where you can get really good rates at the Grand Mercure, as well as other properties up to 50% off room rates. But essentially, the easiest thing is if you're not a member already, go to the website all.accor.com, sign up. You're going to get 5% off at all the properties straight away, which is great.
Amazing. Okay.
So now, my favorite property and one of my favorite properties is the Grand Mercure Danang, where we just were with David. But tell me about where you've stayed and any properties that you love. I'd love to hear that.
I have stayed obviously all around across the world in Accor properties, but obviously my life was in Europe from the last, let's say, 2 decades. So I've experienced a few properties in Europe. And one that I always remember always comes back to my my heart is it's a Pullman property in Euston Station in London, in England, in the UK.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. Tell me.
I don't know. It was in at least 15 years ago, I think.
Wow.
I went there.
Okay. Yeah.
It just opened. You could smell the new furniture really, and the I don't know, like Pullman. I don't know what comes to your mind when you hear the brand, the Pullman brand. It's like old school,
Well,
1980s. I don't know
well
how to
then, yeah,
explain it. And
it
then,
would
but
have
that
been
one was
that
a
back
brand new
then.
property. Yeah, like I don't know how to explain it. Anyway, so I went there, stayed I think 3 nights, and I know the color coordination, it was a bit funky. Everything was new, and I think that was my first Pullman in the world that I've stayed at. That was, you see, like 15 years ago. It is still like back of my mind when I think about Pullman, the brand Pullman, Pullman hotels. Yeah, and also I like the there's a Fairmont in Doha in Qatar. I don't know if you heard of Qatar before.
Yes.
Yeah, and
Is
what
this
they
the one that
have,
has half Fairmont and half Raffles?
yes, yeah,
Yeah.
that's quite special as well. And obviously Raffles joined Accor a few years back, if I'm correct, right?
Yes, correct.
Yeah. And it's a similar concept that the one here in Manila at the moment. So it's the same concept as the Raffles and the Fairmont in Makati, I think. I think they're located in Makati in Manila, if I'm correct. Yes. Yeah.
Yeah,
So similar.
with the
So
joint
I don't know
property.
if that's the only two properties or duo of properties around the world at the moment that's half Fairmont and half Raffles, or they just interconnected buildings. Because the one in Jakarta, that's a solo Fairmont.
Solo
right?
Fairmont with
Yeah.
with separate towers for separate parts. I think they
Yeah.
have a residence and a hotel side. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, the Raffles in Jakarta I quite like as well.
Yes,
I don't know if you've been to that one. The
that
Raffles
is
in
one of my
Jakarta.
favorites.
Yeah. That one is a very good property as well.
By far, one
And
of my if I try and think
yeah.
about my favorite properties, it's up there. If like money isn't an object, and it's not actually a bad expense property. Like it's not a bad price property. What you
Mhm.
can get it for and the service level you get. I've actually got one of my customers, clients staying there at the moment. Troy, he's just staying at Raffles in Jakarta right now. I think 3 or 4 nights, and he's absolutely loving it. He just cannot believe the level of service that's provided at this property.
That's amazing. So
Mm.
where historically, what's the Raffle brand come from?
I
Shall
don't know. I
we
need to
help
look
people?
into. Yeah,
Was the original one in
was it in
not in
Singapore?
Singapore? Yeah, I think so. I went to that one recently just for quick afternoon coffee.
Yeah, did that clean out your bank account? Your afternoon coffee?
Yeah, it was very nice as well. You can feel the colonial, flavor into it. And also, if I think about Singapore, I think we discussed before about the Swisstel and the Fairmont
Yes.
in Singapore. Yeah, those are two very nice properties. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, like we probably all know, they're opening hotels every few days now. So, but still, the one in London, the one in Qatar, I think those are my two favorite ones at the moment.
Yeah, yeah. And
Yeah.
if it's for me, I mean, I have a lot of. It's hard for me. I've stayed in probably over 300 Accor properties. It's very hard for me to pick one that is my
Mm.
favorite. When I think about like what makes a good hotel is obviously the hospitality, like you get at the Grand Mercure and Danang. But then I also look at budget friendly pricing, and I've stayed at some really good properties that are really good priced. Even in
Mhm.
Bangkok, there's a new tribe living there that's a great in Sukhumvit 39. It's a great property for the value for money for the room you get. You've seen this
Mhm.
property with me.
Yes, I did. Yeah.
It's a great property, and then if you look at like more value, for what you get as a member, like there's the Grand Mercure Bangkok Atrium, which is a greatly priced property. You can
Mhm.
get this property for, it's going to be around what, 50 US a night, about 80 Aussie, 85 Aussie, as well as the Mercure Bangkok Makassar. They both have lounge offerings. So, you get a property for under $100 a night, Aussie,
Mhm.
around 50 US a night, and you're getting a really good property, a nice room, and you're getting all your bang for your buck. So you're getting evening drinks, canapes, You're getting your breakfast every day, of course. So there's a lot of properties out there. Even the one that I enjoy in Bangkok as well is a Novotel Impact out in Impact, the Impact Arena. There's even like they have like a direct factory outlet out there. So, you know, it's something that wouldn't be on people's radar as much to go and, you know, go out there and stay at that property unless you're going to an event. But once you have, it's a great property. And I see posts about it all the time. They do a really good job. They really look after their members. They look after them with good upgrades. And it's a really, really nice property. So there are a lot out there that I do love. And even in Bali, you know, a very cheap property, the Ivor Styles, you know, Legion. It's a really affordable property, great team, not the best breakfast, but they're dealing with something, you know, where they have to produce a breakfast for $3 or $4. So, you know, people need to understand that it's you know, at that brand, you don't have the same dollars as if you're staying at a Mercure or a Pullman. So, you know, I'm really, when I travel, I'm always looking for the best affordable option that gives me the most bang for my buck. And, you know, look at me, I'm staying here at an Ibis property in Manila, the very first Ibis in the Philippines. And, you know, I'm paying around between 2 and 2,500 peso a night. And I'm getting a really nice room. I've got a really nice upgrade. The team here is absolutely amazing. I'm getting treated as well as what I get treated over at the Novotel when I stay. So, you know, it's under the same GM. So it's really, everything's been, and they even have like a nice bistro here. They have an amazing Chinese food in the restaurant. Like, and I just go, the value for money for what I'm paying and what I'm getting. I love Ibis properties for their restaurants because you can pay really little amounts, get you 50% off. And really good value, you know. So yeah, and people always ask, what's your favorite property? It's really hard for me to tell. If I have to actually say my absolute favorite property that I've ever stayed, then it's probably is the Raffles in Jakarta because of the prestige of it and the, you know, the complete luxury. But if I go and I think about like where I normally stay, you know, and that's outside of what I normally stay, then it's going to be like the Grand Mercure the Grand Mercure Danang, definitely by far. Even the Novotel Manila Aranita here, and now the Ibis here, becoming very quickly one of my favorite Accor properties. So if anyone ever comes to the Philippines, just come out of the city a little bit. There's a little bit less traffic here. There's a mall. Everything's here. You know, it's a great property and a great value for money. So, and I haven't stayed in many Fairmonts. I haven't stayed in many Raffles and all that sort of stuff. I don't really stay much luxury like Sofotels. You know, most people watching are probably going to say, oh, well, you know, Cam, the best properties are Sofitel Darling Harbour in Sydney. But when I look at the price, yeah, I could pay $300-400 a night, or I could go stay in Danang with the most amazing, you know, Premier Lounge. It's not that busy, you know, really nice rooms, and everybody watching this right now is incredible. David has offered them the executive suite as an upgrade. So, I mean, that's a huge benefit right now. That means you're going to get lounge access, you know. That's incredible. It's a gorgeous room, and it's about $80 a night. What can go wrong?
Yeah, like, have you checked the prices in New York, in Manhattan?
It's crazy, right? I've never stayed in a core property in the US. Like I've done a couple in Europe, not too many, but I have stayed in a couple in Europe. And it's, again, like when we can talk about like comparing Europe to Asia, it's not comparable. In my eyes, it is not comparable. So, and that's what we want to help people with. We want to help people with options on where they can go, properties they can stay. Just giving a little bit of an open mind to try something new is really what we're trying to, you know, and help, you know, give options for different programs that are going to work best. And obviously, you know, myself, I have the travel agency where I can help you booking hotels. And then with Andre, he can help you completely plan, you know, give us a bit more info about what you do with the travelologist, because you are more like create, you know, experiences like a whole lot for them, right? You make it easy, but you don't book it. They can book stuff
Exactly.
for me, but you give them a plan.
I'm so happy you mentioned that keyword, because I think people get confused. Like, well, what do you do? Oh, you're a travel agent. Not really. I get to the step before the travel agent. So I research the information from my clients, and then I present information. But what makes it a bit different is they have the information, but they still have the option to choose something else or choose one of the, for example, I provide 3 options for hotels, for flights, and then also when they get to their city, I provide them with a guide with 5 options in 5 separate areas of what a tourist would like to do or see or need to know before going to a city. And then if they decide, I can help them also with exactly why we're here today, Reggie, is loyalty programs. I've stayed, don't quote me on this, in about 2,000 different properties around the world. And also I have visited a lot of properties. That's why we have a lot of properties in common at the moment. We have visited, stayed in all the properties, mainly in Asia, I think recently, in Vietnam, especially, and in Thailand. And then, so that's what I do as the travelologist. I help people to maximize their loyalty programs. If they're not aware of the loyalty programs, I provide educational resources for them to find out more. And obviously, if they need some help, I have mentoring sessions for them, one-on-one. And I think that's a very niche service or niche service for depending who you speak to. And people, they quite seem, I didn't know about this. And it's the whole educational side of things, mainly about linked to travel. So we have hotels, flights, what to do in a city, and also the loyalty program. So everything combined in a capsule that is the travelologist. So
cool.
So one thing I wanted to discuss today is, you know about this. There's a lot of properties. Let's talk about airport hotels that are linked to. So unfortunately, we all have been informed that a lot of properties will be changing their branding, but unfortunately, they will be moving out of the Accor portfolio. So, which one do you have a list, Reggie, about those properties?
The ones leaving Accor, what we just recently had, as of the 1st of February, we lost the Novotel Savannah Airport at Bangkok. It's moved to Hyatt. Not just it moved to Hyatt. It moved to Hyatt, and the rates have jacked double the price. I heard that they are keeping benefits for members. So if you are a Platinum Diamond member, you had lounge access. There is some discussion around that they are honouring those benefits. I think until, from what I saw, maybe the 30th or something of March, the end of March is what I heard, something like that. So that's nice. Obviously, you're not going to be able to redeem or earn any points. But that's very sad. There's a lot of sad people about that property. There's a lot of angry people on Facebook talking about this and how it's left Accor. The other one that's left Accor recently, or I don't know if it has already, or if it's leaving. I don't know if it has already. Is the one in Taiwan?
Yes, actually, I've been to that one just a few weeks before they would obviously ask them. They're not going to tell you, but the information I had, I think from the 1st of January 2025, they moved again to a Hyatt property. Interestingly,
Hyatt doing a run, trying to take over all the airport hotels potentially. Try to build maybe the portfolio in Asia with some. Maybe they've given some good rates, because that Novotel at Bangkok at Savannah, that's been a Novotel for so long. And now it's just it's gone. We lost the brand, and luckily we still have a lot of there's still a lot of options out there. I stayed at the Novotel Guangzhou. It's a very good airport hotel. They also have a Pullman right next door as well. So that's a really good offering and a really good price point for people if anyone's ever in China. Guangzhou is a very affordable city to fly out of as well. So that's a good option if people may be in like Fushan or even in Shenzhen. It might be even cheaper if you look at flying out of Guangzhou rather than going to Hong Kong, because a Hong Kong direct flight can generally be a lot more expensive than flying out of China. Guangzhou is a very good option, and they have 2 very nice airport hotels. The Pullman's huge, and then there's also the Novotel, and nice suite rooms there. You get upgraded very nicely as a Diamond member. That's probably out of the airport hotels. That's probably one of my favorite ones I've stayed. I haven't really stayed at many, because most of the time I don't really go and do overnights at airports. I normally will, when I've done KL a few times, I've just stayed in the lounge, in the airport. But yeah, most of the time I like to go into the city, or I like to, choose a hotel. It's generally more affordable than those airport hotels, especially at that Novotel Savannah was not cheap.
No, it was, from memory,
was
maybe 8,000 baht minimum starting price, something like that.
Yeah, crazy.
Something like that, yeah. There's also one, the one in Bali. What do you think of the one in
Yes,
Paso
actually,
Airport?
I completely forgot about the Novotel Bali Airport. I love that property. If I now thinking about it, I completely did forget. I've stayed at so many properties. That property would be my favorite out of the lot. It's got a really nice lounge that overlooks the runway.
Wow.
The team there is awesome. It's very low profile, so it's quite long and wide. The restaurant's open 24 hours. It's really cool property. Like the team there's really nice. The rooms are nice. Standard Novotel rooms. But it's super weird because it's like, I think they have like maybe one area where it's two or maybe three. I think it's 2 floors or 3 floors, but that's it. It's nothing more than that. So most of the rooms are on the ground level, which is super strange. And you can get it for an affordable price. And so I think it's a really good option if you are flying out late or coming in, late into the airport. It might be an option that you can stay there. They tell me that they can be so booked in that hotel, and so many people coming in doing like day rooms, but they can turn over the hotel 3 times a day.
Wow, that is,
it's incredible. Incredible business.
Yeah.
Yeah, incredible business, because they can do essentially like a 6-hour day room. People just come there, before their flight, and then obviously when people come in, they're then checking in. So yeah, and then the morning, same thing happens again. Someone's out by the afternoon. So yeah, they can literally churn over a room 3 times in one day. So housekeeping's working 24/7. It's a really interesting property. It's completely different to any other property that I've really stayed at. The kind of how it operates. Really nice, and they gave me a really nice welcome amenity. I've actually got a hat in the other room. They gave me a Novotel hat.
Wow.
So yeah, very, very cool. I really enjoyed that property. I had a really fun time there for my one night stay, and I do recommend anyone that giving that property a go. And it's also one of only a couple of properties in Bali that has a lounge. So people might be crazy.
How would I know which property actually has a lounge? Is there a way we can find out?
Yeah, there is a website you can go to now. A lot of people argue that the website is not updated. I am putting in the link in the YouTube chat. So if anyone's not watching on YouTube, we're streaming on Facebook, we're streaming on Instagram as well. But if you're not on those platforms, I'd recommend jumping on the YouTube. It's going to be your best option. You can see all the chats on there from us. That's where we're kind of putting everything through. But the link's on there, and essentially this website, it goes through and talks about a list of all the properties that have lounges in certain areas. So you can pretty much put in there, I'm in Asia, I'm in Indonesia, and then I'm in Bali. And then it comes up and says that the hotels that have lounges in Bali is only the Novotel Bali Airport and the Sofitel Bali Nusa Dua. That's it.
Okay. Which reminded me of something. Next to the Sofitel in Nusa Dua, there's a new,
Correct.
I think it's part of the handwritten portfolio.
Handwritten collection, yeah. The Nusa Dua, yes, it's a new property, and it is a part of the handwritten collection. It's called the Nusa Dua Beach Hotel and Spa. It's a handwritten collection property. I did hear that they offered some type of lounge benefit there. I did hear a rumor about that, but I haven't seen anything about that.
Okay.
Yeah, so it says it has something called a Palace Club privileges on the website, but again, that's not listed on this on the list of hotels with executive lounges. So that's the problem. It's kind of like there's some information that's there and there's some information that's not. So it's hard for people to understand. But really, like a tip for people if they want to know if a property has a lounge, the easiest thing is to, when you're looking at booking a property, you just go to look at the rooms, look at the room categories. If there's anything that's called like a premier room, you can look at like the description, and it will most likely say like with premier lounge access or with club lounge access or club benefits. If it's got anything like this, then it's most likely got a club room. Obviously, the best way is always checking with the property, but you can always go onto the website and check that list that I've got in the stream link. That will give you kind of the best idea. But there are definitely properties out there that do offer maybe like a more light offering of a lounge benefit that isn't going to show up on that list. And there's also properties on there that aren't even open yet. Like, for example, if you look at Thailand in Krabi, they're going to be opening a Grand Mercure, and that's going to have a lounge because it's on the list.
Yeah, there's a Sofitel in Krabi as well, right?
There is a Sofitel in Krabi, yes, correct. So they both come up on there in the list as properties in Krabi that have a lounge. But the Grand Mercure, if you do any research on it, it is not really in existence at the moment. So I did see some advertising around jobs for this property, but it was meant to open from what I saw at the end of 2024. Obviously, that didn't happen. So there's now talk that it's going to be the end of 2025, by late 2025. So something else we could look at is the properties like that are going to be opening. We could talk to people about this because there are a lot of great properties coming out. There's a lot of properties that are being added to the group in the near future, within obviously 2025. A lot in the luxury brand. And for example, some like in our type of neck of the woods would be like the Raffles Sentosa in Singapore. That's going to be opening early this year, which is really cool. There's also a Raffles in Jeddah going to be opening. Talking about Fairmont, they're going to be opening a Fairmont in Prague early 2025. So there's actually a lot of properties. Fairmont Tokyo, mid-2025. So there's going to be a Fairmont in Tokyo. There's also another Fairmont going in India. There's Fairmont going into Bangkok, which we were talking about. It's Sukhumvit.
Yes.
It's going to be the Windsor, the old Windsor Hotel is transforming into the very first Fairmont for Thailand. It's going to be opening in late 2025. Another one near us is a Fairmont Hanoi. It's going to be opening late this year as well. So that's a really good, option for Hanoi. There's so many, and that's one of the luxury hotels. When we look at like our lifestyle brands, there's going to be a Hyde. I haven't seen the Hyde brand, but they're going to be opening a Hyde in Perth, in CBD. A Mama Shelter in Singapore would be the first Mama Shelter. So that's exciting. That's going to be early this year. A Mondrian in the Gold Coast, and I think we're talking about that. It's from Miami or something, the brand.
I think we need to be accurate with things like that, but the original one was in Miami or something.
Yeah, so that's essentially there's a Mondrian coming to the Gold Coast, so that's going to be early this year as well. There's a lot of properties coming in, premium brands. There's going to be a Pullman Chennai, how I say it in India.
Chennai, yeah.
Yeah, there's going to be a Swissôtel in Doha.
Yes. Actually, cool. I used to live in Doha, so I remember that building in front of me being built. But when I left, it was not completed. The buildings I think it's going to be a concept like hotel, offices, and commercial, I think, or residential. Cool. I think there's like three towers, but all at different levels. It's amazing. I'll find. We'll talk about it later. I think I'll find a good photo.
That's cool. So there's Swissôtel Bucharest, and there's also like I said, the Grand Mercure in Krabi as well. When we look at mid-scale and economy, in this area, we've got Novotel Jakarta. There's going to be a new Novotel Jakarta. It's called Pulau Mas, 36 floors, 175 rooms. So it's quite a tall one. There's going to be a Novotel in Cabramatta in Sydney, 140 rooms. And there's going to be a Tribe opening in Auckland, only 60 rooms.
Interesting.
Yeah, and that's pretty much it for Asia. There are a lot of other properties, and people can check online. Just look up the Accor new hotels, Accor Hotels 2025, and you can find that list. A lot of properties on there that are going to be great for the members. That's the cool part about it. There's lots of members out there all around the world, and there's going to be lots more properties for us to try out. There's so many properties opening, just like this one. This Ibis is about to have its grand opening on the 19th of this month. So next week they're going to have their grand opening. Now they got everything going, and yeah, a great property. So highly recommend if you're in Manila, if you come in Manila, come and try the Ibis. Don't, even if you are a platinum member or a diamond member, just come and give the Ibis a go. It's a great place to burn your points because, as I've spoken many times, is you earn less points at Ibis properties. So it is a great place to come and burn those points for sure. So yeah,
that's great.
Bit of info on the new properties out there. Yeah. Anything else you want to look at or go through, mate? On the podcast
I'm trying
today?
to send you a link. It doesn't work. I want to put a link in our chat, but well, I'll do it in a minute. What I wanted to talk about is how is there a way? Obviously, we're all mainly focusing on the loyalty programs. For example, if you're staying in a hotel, you need to fly. You need to have a flight involved, or be part of or you can also be part of a loyalty program that are for airlines, correct?
Yes, correct.
So is there a way we could match? We can benefit both ways.
Yeah,
so
there
I
is.
think
Within
recently,
Accor.
for example, I think Accor and Qatar Airways, which is part of One World, they have a partnership or a status match, I think. So if you get to platinum for Accor,
yes.
And then you'll be eligible for a status match for the gold status of One World program, which is a sapphire level.
Correct.
That's where things are getting interesting, correct?
Correct. And as a diamond member like myself, I can status match to a platinum membership or an emerald, which is great value. You get access to all the first class lounges. Absolutely incredible value by being a platinum or diamond member. Essentially status matching for 12 months, which is great. And you just have to do one Qatar flight. So that's pretty much the only requirement. It can be a revenue fare. It can also be a points ticket. It doesn't have to be a revenue fare. So points or revenue, you can have either of those. Essentially, just do a Qatar flight. Can be from anywhere, any destinations, and then you can essentially I saw someone did it, and they literally, when they landed, the points got through, and their membership was instantly upgraded.
Amazing. So again, that's all the perks of loyalty programs, correct?
Correct. That's right. And that's the real true benefits that they are. And at the moment, there are ways in which you could do that. Like, for example, how I would do it if I was to do it. I don't need to. I already have One World Emerald. But, like, for example, if I ever lose my One World Emerald, I'll definitely be doing it and status matching my diamond status to them. There is a 1 hour flight you can take between Phnom Penh in Cambodia and Ho Chi Minh City in Vietnam.
True.
It's a 1 hour flight you can take, and you can do this flight, and essentially that will give you your, your little tick of approval, and it's a very affordable price. It's on a 777 as well, so it's a lovely flight, a lovely plane for an hour flight. But essentially, why they do that is that flight is going because obviously there's not enough people in Phnom Penh, Cambodia, to fly to Doha. They go via Ho Chi Minh, so pretty much they pick up more passengers in Ho Chi Minh and then go to Doha. It's called a Fifth Freedom flight, which is generally you can get a lot of great value out of Fifth Freedom flights. Emirates has one between Hong Kong and Bangkok. So if you ever want to try an A380 on a short flight, you can just do an A380 between Hong Kong and Bangkok, or vice versa. They do it both ways. So that's a really, really good option for people. And even if you want to try it first class, a very affordable first class ticket between those two destinations.
Amazing. That's all.
So there's lots of benefits.
All to do with perks, loyalty perks.
Lots of perks out there, lots of benefits, and there's lots of little loopholes. And that's what we want to talk about, different ways in which people can obviously get the best bang for their buck. Not many questions today, though. The other day when I was on live, I had a lot of questions, probably because we're a weekday doing the podcast. But if anyone does have any questions, feel free to put them in the chat. I'm checking the Instagram as well because we're live on Instagram. We're live on the Be Baffled Travel YouTube page. And then we've also got the my Facebook page as well. And at some point, Andre will have his going as well.
Yes, we're all connected.
We're all getting new to this. Yeah. Michael. Oh, Michael's joining us. Hey, mate. Michael from Australia. Big fan of everything I'm doing, and also one of my supporters as well, which is really cool. On my buy me a coffee, which is cool. All the airfare stuff is going to be great when we kick off. Yeah, definitely. Like for anyone that's kind of starting the program, anyone that's kind of starting to get into the program, once you have the platinum status, you can pretty much do so much with it. Even with airlines, once you have statuses with airlines, it's very simple then to jump to other airlines. I heard about a guy just yesterday that flew, essentially has British Airways Emerald. So essentially British Airways equivalent to like a Qantas Platinum or a One World Emerald. And he flew one flight with Philippine Airlines and he got status matched to their same tier. So just emailed them and said, hey, I'd like to status match, and Philippine Airlines just upgraded him to essentially the same level as his Emerald, One World Emerald status. So, I mean, it never hurts to ask if this is something, and if you're going to, I mean, don't just do it if you just, want the status. I mean, you have to have value at it. It's like there's a lot of people out there that want to be platinum members that don't, and they do it because they want to get platinum and they never really stay at hotels. And what's the point? If you you need the bang for your buck if you're going to utilize it. So I think if you're a platinum member, you've got used all the programs, all the ways to get it, whether that's all signature, whether that's getting the all China, getting 30 nights, getting the Core Plus, getting 20 nights, and all these kind of fast track options. That's great, but then utilize it, use it. There's no point having something you're not using.
Good point. Yeah, I'm trying to think. There's a lot of, shall we call them secrets out there, or just knowledge or travel knowledge. And obviously, if you travel like yourself or myself, we've traveled a lot and we're still going to continue doing that. There's a lot of things we had to learn as well, the hard way sometimes, right?
Correct.
And then that's why we're here. We can help people now to benefit from acquired knowledge that, that sounds interesting. Let's ask. Like asking doesn't cost anything. And from our expertise combined, I think we could help a lot of people.
Correct. And that's what we want to do. So, people obviously, the podcast is going to be out. This is live right now. We're recording. This is going to be obviously playbacked online. Anyone can watch this at any time if they want information on Accor. We're going to have, like you said, special guests coming on the podcast. We're going to have a lot of interaction with you guys. We're going to try and do it on a regular basis. We haven't talked about that yet, with how regular, but we definitely want to have these sessions often so that we can kind of take some consistency to it. But yeah, if there's anyone out there that wants to be involved in the podcast, even if you're we'd love to ask different members about their status and about how they, their experience with Accor, because for me, I'm a diamond member. I think Andre, you got platinum status now, yeah?
Yep.
Yeah. So, I'd love to hear from people that maybe are gold members. What's your plan? Are you trying to get to platinum? Are you happy with gold? What benefits have you got being a gold member? And then even silver members, maybe if you just got a Core Plus, how you found it as well. Because it'd be great to see different levels of memberships for people out there that they can actually understand the program better. Yeah. So Leo has asked a question on YouTube asking about whether complimentary stays are applicable to all hotels. Or are there blackouts? So essentially, some hotels don't offer the complimentary stays in regards to like their Core Plus, if that's what we're talking about. Some don't actually offer that. But most hotels offer it, or they might offer it with some exclusions or some exceptions in regards to, like, there's properties out there that will say, you can get a complimentary night, but you have to stay a minimum of 2 nights or minimum of 3 nights, then we'll give you a complimentary night. Stuff like that. And there are definitely, I wouldn't call them blackouts, but they only allow so many free stays at certain times. So essentially you have to check like the rate calendar to see when these are available. They don't really black them out, but essentially if the lowest rate isn't available, they're not going to have these complimentary nights available.
If I just jump into that, Reggie, I've checked. I spend a lot of time checking for that complimentary night. For example, I've used mine at the Sofitel in Ho Chi Minh City, AK Saigon. You've been there as well, correct?
Yeah, recently,
so
yes.
For example, on the in terms of, there was no blackout dates, but some nights, if the nightly rate was over a cut-off amount, I think
the
it was
price
not,
was
you
higher.
cannot use it. Yeah.
Yep. Or there might be times where they say, yes, you can use it, but you got to pay an extra $15 or $30.
Yeah.
And that's because of a certain room category.
Yeah.
Hope that answers the question, Leo. If there's any others, make sure you drop them in the chat. We got Michael with another thing. Having Australia as our starting point makes the initial airfare such a huge part of the trip cost. Learn how to understand the system is really important. Yeah, for sure. Definitely. And there's Australia is an awful point to start your journey in regards to airfares. But there's a lot of options out there in regards to, like, for example, there's a lot of low-cost carriers out there. So, for example, you've got like Vietjet, who flies from like Brisbane and Sydney. You can get these flights very cheap to then go through to, say, Ho Chi Minh or to Danang, something like that. And you could probably pick up these flights for, maybe $500-600 Aussie return. So it's not badly priced. Obviously, once you add your luggage and all that, these prices go up. But yes, and also the other thing I find within Australian airfares, it's very hard to get award seats. So if you are a points person, you're in their frequent flyer game, you're trying to get, say, utilize Qantas points or Virgin points, then it's quite difficult to utilize these points if you're trying to fly overseas, especially if you're doing it like a last minute thing. Because there's so much competition in this space in regards to so many people trying to book these routes. Very quickly they can get taken up.
Do you want to hear my opinion on this question, Reggie? I have checked for what's the best option to fly out of Australia at the moment. If you have Qantas points, which is the One World program alliance, I think the best option is to book an award flight to go to Bali on Virgin. And then start your itinerary wherever you want to go in the world from Bali. I think that would be the best solution. I would advise.
Always get out of Australia. Once you're out of Australia, everything becomes so much easier. The other thing I would suggest to people, if they're really looking like they want to use their points, always one big tip for me for trying to do this stuff, especially if you're trying to do complex bookings. Like I've done some round the world fares, which are quite complex to book on points. Always start at the destination. Don't start at the departure. You always want to start where you want to end up. You don't want to start where you want to start. Because the thing is, it's very hard to find flights, say, if you're coming from Brisbane and you're trying to get to Dallas or, Los Angeles. It's very hard to find flights that connect that way. But if you start in, LA or Dallas, you work your way back and you find flights that are available. It's a lot simpler than trying to find flights the other way. And then you can just connect them all up and boom, you've got your flights. So something I would suggest, work out where you want to go and then look at what options you have to get to that place from another place. And there's some great websites out there as well. And I mean, we're going a little bit on the side of a call here, but I just want to make a notice. There's some websites like seats.aero, that's seats.aero, is a really, really good website to find award flights. There's another one called Rome.travel. These are both free websites, 2 free websites that you can use to get, you look at award points. There are premium versions that are great as well. There's also another one called points.me, but that's a paid service. But essentially these products you can put in where you want to go, and you can also do bulk searching. So you can go, hey, I'm happy to go from anywhere in Asia or Oceania, and I want to go to, the US, and it will kind of say, oh, well, if you go to Auckland, you can get a flight then to LA. So it opens up because you might only be looking at Sydney, but you could just get a cheap flight to Auckland and then just do it from there. And it's always cheaper on taxes to leave Australia. So in regards to those extra fees that they want to charge you, for example, when I started my round the world trip, I originated it from Korea. From South Korea, it was a lot cheaper. My ticket originated in South Korea. I got a Jetstar flight up to South Korea, and then I essentially started my round the world in business class. And it cost me like 320,000 odd Qantas points, and it only cost me like $600 in taxes. And that's because I originated in Korea. But if I originated in Australia, it would have cost me $3,500 in taxes.
Interesting. That's, again, always good to know, right?
Yeah, so we're very different to Accor, but it's something that obviously hand in hand when you're traveling, you need to get somewhere. So what are some other options? And we can talk about this stuff as well if anyone has any questions about airlines. When I started my YouTube channel, I love the freaking fly game, but there's so many people doing it. So that's why I decided to go into the hotel side of things to keep it a bit different. Yeah. Leo's put another comment up here, said that he's heard that they'll ask you to pay a different fee to the type of room one level under the suite room if you'd like to use a suite upgrade. How's a suite upgrade voucher actually function? Mate, exactly what you said. It functions exactly the way you just said. So essentially a suite night works in regards to you pay for the room under whatever room you're booking. So essentially let's keep it simple and say like this is a Sofitel. For example, if you want to book the junior suite, then you need to essentially pay for the luxury room rather than say the superior room. If you wanted the opera suite, then you need to pay for the junior suite. So that's essentially how it works. It's very simple.
We have a lot of questions about airline.
Airlines, yeah. For an Accor podcast, we're getting the airline stuff come through. Lukey boy, mate, welcome to the podcast. This is the podcast version of the live. Booking a reward flights, particularly Qantas, can be a nightmare to find the flights you want. Has spent hours looking on the web looking for options which suit. Sorry, not using Jetstar ever again. Yes, hashtag using Jetstar ever again. I agree with you, Luke. I definitely agree with you there, mate. Mate, if you want help booking Qantas award flights, just let me know. Definitely happy to help out to try and do this for you. For me, I'm very lucky. I have very good status with Qantas, and I can just make a phone call and get seats released for myself, which is very handy. I'll be very sad when I lose this in a couple of years. But yeah, mate, there are ways to do it. And like I said, pretty much if you look up that seats.aero, there's region checking, and I'd highly recommend this. You can put in like the search term, for example, ANZ, and what will happen is it will essentially look at all the airports in Australia and New Zealand, and then you can put in something like you want to go to Asia, or let's say you want to go to the US, you can put in Asia, like ASA, which would be like Asia airports, like large airports, and then it will essentially show you all the flights options that are available out of all the award flights, essentially, and you can select Qantas as well if you want to break it down to just Qantas, but it will give you all those options very easily. I find it's a lot easier to search in bulk than trying to search, say, looking up, say, Sydney, Sydney to Bangkok, and then, Melbourne to Bangkok, and then Perth to Bangkok. It's a lot easier to do it in bulk using these websites like Seats.aero. I highly recommend, mate, if you haven't used that website, jump online now, have a look at Seats.aero. It's great. And if you need any help, let me know. I've got a premium membership, so I can help with that. Durian recently hit gold. Any advice
Are we talking about Accor or airlines here?
I'm guessing. I'm hoping Accor. Where does it gold? Because otherwise we need more info. Travel to Philippines, Thailand, Indonesia monthly. Okay, well maybe it could be both, mate. I'm guessing you're talking about gold membership with Accor, or you're talking with Qantas Gold, or Virgin Gold. I'm guessing Accor. Well, we could probably talk about both. Essentially, if you're talking about Accor Gold, progressing to the next. Well, let me know first. I think it's better you let us know first, and we can digress on that situation. Leo, what do you reckon about the Chinese version of All Plus? Any good recommendations for complimentary nights? Andre, do you know much about All Plus China? I know a little bit. I can talk about this, but have you heard of this program? Do you know what it does, or is it something new to you?
I need to do some refining my knowledge now. I'm not really familiar with it, but then again, that's all we need expert, correct? We can always find information for our listeners and watchers. And that's something, like the Travolage, that's what we do. We find information for people.
That's your job, right? That's what you're looking to do.
That's my job. So please get in touch.
Yeah. So with All China is the Chinese essentially membership program like Accor Plus. Now, Accor Plus is still accepted in China as well, but when China got removed from Accor Plus essentially for their local essentially segment, And what they replaced it with is this thing called All Plus China. And what this essentially does is there's three different levels of membership. If you convert it all into English, it's essentially makes it simple. There's three levels of membership that you pay for on a yearly basis. And it's like a subscription again, like Accor Plus. And essentially the different levels offer you different benefits. One level is going to give you like so many nights. So for example, from memory, I think the first level gives you 5 nights. The next level gives you like 10 or 20 nights. And the last level gives you 30 nights. And this is like bonus status nights like they do with the Accor Plus. So it gives you that straight away. So that's a really good option. And talking back to Jurun, mate, you've recently hit gold. So I'd like to know how many nights you currently got. If you let me know that in the chat. I also want to know if you have any, current like Accor Plus, or if you're using All Signature, just give me a bit more information on your situation. For example, though, like the All China, let's say you're at 30 nights because you hit your 30 nights for gold rather than for status points. You could sign up to the All China 30 nights plan, which is their top plan. It's around 550 Aussie is what it works out to be. That will instantly give you 30 nights into your account. You become platinum straight away. So that's a benefit that you could do for sure. There we go. So Andre's put a bit of info there. Yeah, so 5 nights, mix and match 2 or multiple shirts for the maximum night credits you earn. Yeah. So yeah, you can mix and match, which is crazy. You can like have one, do a 5 membership, then do a 10 or whatever, and it will add up. But you can only have a maximum of 30 nights. And then yeah, you've got the you got 30 nights via Voyager and Ibis. Okay, cool, sweet. That's all the questions are coming in now. So I want to finish off with Leo's question first, and then we'll go to Jerome. So in regards to, I think the All Plus China is a great option if you're trying to get to platinum easily and you're going to utilize it. Now, in regards to benefits, for options in regards to redeeming hotels, there is the I want to say I think is it a Mondrian in you just have to look this up for me. There's a hotel in Hong Kong that's around $300-400 a night. Let me just have a look at Hong Kong Accor hotels. It is definitely by far going to be the best option in regards to redeeming your points. Yeah, the Mondrian is one of them. The other one is the AKI Hotel Hong Kong M Gallery Collection. Both of those properties are very high price, and there's also the Silveri, which is also an M Gallery. Those are the 3 hotels.
I stayed. Sorry to cut you off. I stayed at that one recently, just on around the airport. There's a Novotel and there's a bridge connecting the new M Gallery. It's an amazing property.
Yeah, it's nice.
Yeah, and they have a free shuttle from the airport. So
that's cool. So that it's a pretty, like, you're talking like 300-ish a night at those properties. So that's a really good option. So when you get the top All China subscription, you get 2 free nights. So straight away, if you stay at those properties, you're going to get those discounts. So you're going to essentially save money. The other thing that you can do, which is really cool, is you also get vouchers, like discount vouchers, right? So essentially, you're going to be able to get, I think there's like 2 or 3 vouchers where you get 50% off the room rate. So, and you can use these at like any hotel in China. There's like a 50% off voucher. There's like a 40% voucher off. I will be doing a video on All China very soon as well. So I will be doing that, and it will have all the info in that video about this program. But essentially, at the end of the day, if you have any desire, any interest to go to China, it's great value to get this program. There's so many benefits and so many options and so many discounts that you can get. It's a great option to get if you are going to go to China. I just highly recommend it. In regards to Jurin asking about hitting, getting to platinum in regards to Accor, going to mostly Philippines, Thailand, Indonesia, mate, I guess that you've got to work out, do you want to hit it due to status, like is in nights, or do you want to hit it as in status, as in points? You've got a few options. One, you can get your all signature, which is going to give you 1,000 status points a month. And you need 14,000 status points. So I don't know how many status points you have now. But essentially that's one option. The other option is, like we said, you can just get All China, pay $550, and you're going to essentially, and I can help you with that. And I'll put a video out on that soon. Essentially, that's going to give you 30 nights. You'll get platinum straight away. The other thing I would say is if you're trying to get your status points rather than nights, is you need to avoid IBIS properties because they're going to earn you only half the amount of points. So wait until you get your status and then start using the IBIS properties and then start burning. Now, if you're just going for nights, so if you just want to try and get 30 nights, no problem staying at IBIS store, mate, and definitely burn your points at those properties so you earn less points when staying at IBIS. I hope that answers the question. We got a heap of questions coming in, mate. Everyone's fired up now. So Leo's got the platinum by 30 nights, Voyager, and IBIS. So he can't have a Core Plus, but that's a great combination. But you could get all China, but you've already got platinum, so you could go to all signature if you want to try and get the diamond status. Luke's got another airline question. Last question, promise. No, mate, you can ask as many questions as you want. We don't mind. What's anyone's experience? Finnair. They're currently doing Qantas Sydney Bangkok flight. First time I tried was very average. April flight. I have upgraded from economy next. Mate, I've done that flight many times. I have not had a problem. I really enjoyed it. I did it once Singapore to Sydney, and it was Finnish crew, and it wasn't as good. I've never had an issue with the Thai crew. It's always been great. I think the economy was really comfortable. I didn't have an issue with it. I don't think I'd need the premium on it. But
what aircraft you think they normally use? The Airbus 330, correct?
It's an A330. Yeah, really nice. It's a really nice cabin. They've done a really nice job on the refurb of that plane. It might be a newer plane. It might not even be refurb, but it's a nice interior. I much prefer it to the Qantas A330. It's really Have you ever flown Finnair?
Yeah, several times. Yeah, mainly in Europe, but they're good. But inter-European countries, it's normally smaller aircrafts. But the Airbus 330-300, normally their seating arrangement is like 242. So if you want to be on the section of twos, that's better. Obviously, if you're traveling on your own, it's different if you're traveling with someone you know. But I quite like the Airbus 330s in general for that sitting configuration. I like 242 on the A330, and because of my status with Qantas, they always block the seat next to me. So I always will pick the window or the aisle on the 2, and I always get it. And then also, you've got a lot more opportunity if you pick a middle seat. You're going to get the seat next to you because a lot of people aren't going to want to sit in the middle. Michael actually says he flew Finnair Bangkok City last year. He's not going to do it again because the seat was so close I couldn't fit my knees in. Qantas Brisbane to Singapore was fun. I now know how to check the seat pitch. Yeah, okay, it's good point for sure. For me, my legs aren't as long, and Michael's would be. I didn't have any discomfort in regards to that. But I'm sure, if you taller, then that would not be a great experience, especially on a Bangkok to Sydney. It's not a short flight. It's like a 9-hour flight. Yeah, it's not that short, yeah. And also there's a website, I don't know if you heard of that, it's called seatguru.com, I think.
Yeah.
You can find out about the, again.
I've got a extension on Google Chrome that actually gives me, whenever I look on Google Flights, it gives me the seat, like the pitch. Which is really cool. So it shows me all that straight in there, which is really good. Guys, feel free to drop more questions. We are happy to help out with any questions you may have, for sure. We'll probably wrap up soon at some point. But this has been great. We talked about a lot of stuff non-Accor as well.
Yeah,
which I didn't expect. We digressed into airlines. And anyone that
but everything is everything is interconnected at the end of the day, right, Reggie? So if we can help people again, you need to fly to get to a hotel sometimes, right?
Most of the time, you need to fly, especially the hotels we're recommending. So for sure, I've got a flight tomorrow going to Surabaya, back to one of my favorite budget-friendly, places in the world in regards to Accor properties. So many amazing Accor properties in the city. Second biggest city in Indonesia. A lot of people haven't even heard of it.
Yeah, it is the second biggest. Yeah, it is. You're right. You're very accurate, my friend.
Three 3.4 million people or something in the city.
Yeah.
It's crazy. And I'm flying Cathay Pacific tomorrow, so I'm flying, and I can't believe that they have a Hong Kong to Surabaya every single day with an A330. So I will be on an A330 tomorrow, flying from Manila to Hong Kong and then Hong Kong to Surabaya. If anyone's going to be in Hong Kong airport, let me know. You never know. I've ran into a lot of people. It's crazy, actually. It's been really cool. Luke's saying, block the seat next to me is equivalent to business. I did this on a trip to the US luxury. Now I'm stuck with my wife next to me. It's great. You should just try the trick. Have you tried the trick on like the 737s, mate, where you put yourself on the window and then put her in the aisle?
Yeah, I've tried that.
It
works sometimes.
And I mean, if it doesn't, generally the person that was going to sit in the middle has no problem with either being in the window or the aisle. So it's very easy to fix the situation if it doesn't go to plan.
I mean, if you have status with any airlines, I think the computer could detect if you book two seats together. The computer like arrange it for you in a positive way, or gives you the option of row like 16, 17, 18 up to 20, I think, on most bigger aircrafts. That's my experience. It works.
Yeah.
And then you can always discuss at check-in desk.
Correct. And that's something I would always recommend, guys, is when you are checking, especially at a home port. So, for example, if you're flying, so I fly Malaysian a lot, and these are always on 737s intra-Asia.
Yeah.
They're not on big planes. So I always ask them, when I go to the desk to check in. Now, if I'm flying, say, Bangkok to Kuala Lumpur, there's not much they can do. They can move me, but they can't block a seat. They have no operational, power to block a seat. But obviously they can talk amongst themselves and say, hey, don't, choose that seat next to him. But essentially, if you're in a home base, so for example, if I check in Malaysia, then those guys that check in, they can block those seats. So you can ask them, let's say I'm going KL to, all what I do is when I land in Malaysia, always an hour before my flight, I'm in the lounge, I go up to the desk, I talk to them, I say, hey, can you check my flight? Can you check my seat map? Is there anyone next to me? If there is, they just move me. Or they can block the seat, and essentially it's a lot easier. So they can block the seat in the home ports. You can just ask nicely. I always ask, is the flight full? And they might say, there's like 20 seats left. Is there a seat maybe, free next to me? Even if you don't have status, you can ask these questions. The other thing is, guys, don't be shy. Ask for an upgrade. I'll be doing it tomorrow. I'm flying economy, but Cathay is very good at upgrading their members, even if you're like, I'm with Qantas. I'm a Qantas frequent flyer, but obviously with Oneworld, it all interlinks. And I've had many upgrades on Cathay.
Yeah.
So, it's never hurts to ask at the check-in desk when you're checking in, would you have any upgrades? It's called an operational upgrade is the code word. And an operational upgrade will be that some reason they can upgrade you, and it might be because, for example, I had it many times where economy is full, so then they move me to business because of my status. That's an operational upgrade, but they can obviously make stuff up as well. So always worth asking, and if there's a few seats free in business class, there's no reason why, that they might not go, yeah, why not? Let's do it. They might be having a nice day. Bring some chocolates or something, sweet talk them. These things actually help, and I'm not joking, right? These things do a massive difference. Dress nicely, it completely changes your flying experience, So
and when you get to Hong Kong airport, you're always going to have the pier to enjoy.
Correct.
Yes.
Correct. You've got a gorgeous first class lounge, which is absolutely amazing. So yeah, highly recommend checking. Yeah, I love flying Cathay. I really do. I think it's a great experience. The aircrafts aren't the newest, but generally they're wide bodies. And if they aren't wide bodies, then they're new aircrafts.
Yeah, they have the
new A321 Neo.
Yeah, they're using normally for Southeast Asian flights, I think.
Yeah, they do use it from in between Hong Kong and Manila, but I've never been able to snag it. Now, we were talking earlier about the Swissatel in Doha.
Yeah.
I think I made it so I can show people. Here it is.
Yeah. Yeah.
Look at that. We're all over this. So this is a Swiss hotel, eh? Talk to me about it.
Yeah.
3 towers, is it?
So obviously you have the main street in front of it. That is called a corniche in the Middle East. So you have obviously like a beachfront, but there's no beach. It's just like a path people can walk. Yeah. But yeah, so from what I know, there's going to be 3 towers, 3 or 4. I think 4 on that one. So one will be the hotel, one will be residential, one offices, and one probably like long-term rental as well. But location is great. I think that is the first sea view property in the city that's got direct views to the for Accor. I think they were meant to open a Sofitel and a Novotel, but I don't know what's happening with the that project. But yeah, the Swiss hotel, that's the next big one, I think, to emerge in the city. Yeah.
Very cool. Michael's comment is great. I don't know if you saw my episode where I made my own chocolates at the Mercure rayon. So he's saying that I should bring some handmade Redgie Andre chocolates. For sure. Well, this has been great. If anyone's got any other questions, we're probably going to wrap it up. We're kind of, I think we've talked about everything we wanted to today. But if there's any topics that you guys want us to talk about, please definitely let us know. We're here to help out. That's essentially the biggest thing by what we're doing this. If anyone wants to join the podcast anytime as well, we'd love to have you guys on. Definitely, if you're a member or if you're at a hotel, I know many hotels are watching. From my crazy adventure of staying 365 nights in Accor hotels. I know you guys are watching, so I appreciate that. If anyone is watching and you would love to come on, that would be really good. We've actually got a lot more people watching now, so I think this is more the time to come on. More and more people are joining us. So, guys, if you just joined us, welcome. This is the ALL Accor Insights podcast. We're going to be doing on a regular basis. We will kind of have some schedule at some point. This is Andre with me. Who's a latrologist. Did I say it right?
Yes, perfectly pronounced, my friend. Very good.
I kind of think of you as like, when I think about like how you explain what you do, I kind of think you're like the financial planner for travel. You know, you kind of like you kind of talk about what they want, and then you go back and work everything out, and then present them with essentially a plan.
Yeah, that's exactly what I'm doing.
Yeah.
So people, I evaluated maybe people could save on average 30% of the amount of their total trip. We can combine hotels and flights, eventually, because we know tips and tricks, we can give that to people. But if someone wants to invest the time with us, for example, just to find out what the options are, they can also make their own decision. But on paper, it would look much better, more clearer for them to make their a wiser decision, I would say, because there's so much information out there. Even we get confused sometimes, and we just have to sift through a lot of information. But then if we combine that with our professional expertise, that's how we help people easily.
Correct. Yeah, no, it's absolutely great. And that's what we're here for. We want to help out. We want to provide the best advice for everybody out there. That's why we're here as well. And you've got your YouTube that you're just launching. You're going to start putting some stuff up there as well.
Yeah, correct.
So people can look up you on YouTube. I'll put a link there for everybody and pop it on the screen. If you want to find Andre on the YouTube. And of course, at some point, we'll be streaming this as well. On his YouTube as well, which would be cool.
Yes,
we can kind of join everybody together and make some really cool content for you guys. We want to help out as much as possible. We want to help out with saving you guys money essentially at the end of the day, and even like cashback is another massive thing that we haven't even talked about yet. There's some videos out that I've released where you can earn cashback, and we were talking about this the other day where essentially you can earn 10, 12%, up to 10, 12% cashback on your bookings. And that's just giving you more and more ways to save money for these hotels. And, as members, you're still getting all the benefits. It's not affecting you. So why wouldn't you take up with these advantages? And that's what we're here to help you with. And if you guys need any, if you want any plans done, if you want any help in regards to planning travel, definitely talk to Andre. If you want any help booking stuff, once he's given you the plan, you can talk to me. So kind of a
Step
package
one,
deal.
step two, and then everything is in hands,
Yeah. So hope you guys enjoyed the podcast. If you've got any other questions, please ask away. Otherwise, we're going to pack up and finish off today. This will all be online. So if anybody wants to we've talked about a lot of stuff. We also interviewed earlier on David Coyle from the Mercure Danang, a great property, one of my favorite Accor properties as well. So, you can definitely check that out at the start of the video. You can check it out on my personal Facebook page. Look up my name on Facebook. You can find me on there. Follow me, and that way you can see all of what I'm doing. I'll put a link up there in the chat. You can look me up. If you've got any questions, you can always message me online as well. That is no problem at all. And I'm sure for Andre, it's exactly the same. If you've got any questions, you can reach out to him as well. Yeah, for sure. But yeah, streaming live, YouTube, Facebook, as well as Instagram. Thanks so much for joining us, guys, on the very first ALL Accor Insights. It's been great to have everybody with us. And yeah, we'll be back very, very soon with more special guests. We're going to have Mark Paragas, who's a YouTuber here in the Philippines. He's an Accor Platinum member. We're going to have him with us maybe next week or whenever we do another podcast. He's going to come online, which will be really cool. He can talk about what he does. And he's recently been gone from a gold member to a platinum member. So he's seen a huge difference in, what he's been offered for people, which is really cool, like for benefits. So yeah, that'll be really cool to get his insights. And I also hear you're going to venture to Pattaya as well. Try some of the properties there. So we can talk about that as well. Which is exciting. You're going to be going to the Pullman, which gets some mixed reviews. So I'm excited to hear your feedback on the lounge and the experience. So it's quite an old property to see how it's going, which would be very exciting. It's been a while since I've been there. They also do a really nice grand, like seafood buffet, I think, on a weekend or something, or they used to, or maybe it's once a month, a brunch. So yeah, they've got a lot of really cool offers there at the Pullman. There's a lot of great properties in Pattaya, Rayong, Sriracha. So yeah, we can talk about any of this stuff, you guys. If you want to see any properties, let me know. I'm traveling around at the moment throughout Asia. I'm going to Indonesia for another month or two. And yeah, it's going to be great. Lukey Boy's just joined at the last second there and said he's heading off because the wife needs the TV to watch Married at First Sight. It's 1 hour of my life I'll never get back. Mate, I appreciate you joining us. Really, really appreciate it. And we'll catch everybody next time on the ALL Accor Insights. I'm Reggie and Andre with me. And we'll see you guys next time. Appreciate it.
Cool. See you guys.
See you guys.